I told you we were going to have a Friday brush with greatness. Our buddy Chancey Williams, how are you, my friend?
Good. How you doing today?
Awesome. Well, first of all, high fives, congrats on the success of Rodeo Cold Beer. Man, you were kicking butt and taking names with how that album did.
Oh, well, thanks, man. Yeah, we've been really fortunate. That album was great for us.
Yeah, well, now we just debuted the new song, "The World Needs More Cowboys." Tell me how that song came about. You debuted that at the National Finals Rodeo, right?
Yeah, we rushed it out so we played at the opening ceremony on the fifth round of the NFR in the Thomas the Mack Center. So we thought that'd be a good place to debut it. But yeah, we last fall or this summer even when the University of Wyoming's ad campaign came out about the world needs more Cowboys, came along with some controversy. We just I told my producer, who's also I write with a lot, Trent Willman, I was like, man, we should really write that. I said, it's a great slogan for UW in Wyoming. I said it needs an anthem for it. So I was like, the night before we recorded the other songs for the record, we wrote that the night before and recorded it the next day and pushed it out as a new single. So I've never had a song go through the process that fast.
Yeah, well, I tell you, I love that song with a capital L. That is amazing.
Oh, well, thanks. Yeah, we were running, and we kind of tried it several different ways. It started out slow, and I'm like, man, I think it needs to be a rocker that I can see the pokes come out of the tunnel to this song. And I said, let's make it fast. So that's the way it ended up.
Yeah, well, the performance video you guys shared on your own Facebook page, which we then, of course, threw on ours. Man, the energy on that bad boy is just flying.
Yeah, it's fun. I mean, nothing's more fun than playing in the Thomas and Mack Center in the dirt for, it's 18,000 people in there, and then they pipe it around town to another 100,000 people. So, you definitely are amped up for one song. I wish we could play it 10 times, but it goes by so fast.
Yeah, well, I promise you, next time you're in Casper, you can play it 10 times here. Yeah, you have my word on that. Well, listen, Chancey, I got to tell you, man, as a guy who found 8th grade challenging, speaking for myself, it is impressive that you got 4 college degrees. Is that right?
Yeah, I got lucky. I actually went to, Casper College for 3 years and rodeoed there, which is real fun, and then ended up with a couple degrees out of there, and then went on to rodeo at the University of Wyoming, finished my bachelor's and my master's degree there. I really loved college.
Yeah, well, that's amazing. Well, nice talking to an educated person. That'll help balance out all the weird stuff I say every day. Now,
well, I don't know about that. Yeah, I appreciate that.
Now, I heard something kind of strange that you have that for some reason the British people love you. Is that right?
They do.
Yeah.
They do. People over there love me for some reason.
Yeah, I came across that you were featured on a BBC special.
Yeah, the BBC did this ad campaign across the U.S. It's called Music or like Tourism Through Music or something, and they did Wyoming as one of their feature states, and they picked an artist. So they picked me for Wyoming. They it's basically a commercial they run over in France and everywhere in Europe that it evidently runs like 5 times a day. So they get to see me a lot, I guess.
Yeah, well, it's got to be quite an honor. Because, I mean, for years and years and years, it was Chris Ledoux that a lot of the world thought of when they thought of Wyoming. Now your name is it, man. I mean, being breathed in that same breath has got to be, really meaningful, I would imagine.
Yeah, it's definitely very humbling. I mean, nobody will ever be as big as Chris in Wyoming because he's, like king of Wyoming. But it's definitely cool to be thought of up there with him or getting close to him, I guess. But it's really neat that there's only been several guys, only a couple guys from Wyoming that have went on to rodeo and play music at that level, I guess. But yeah, it's still overwhelming to me, I guess.
Yeah, well, once the rest of the world gets a clue, maybe they'll appreciate us more. You think?
Oh yeah, that'd be neat. We've been fortunate, to have the great state of Wyoming back us for all these years. We've been at it a while, and everybody says they got the best fans, but they don't have Wyoming fans. I truly believe we have the best fans because they've been with us through thick and thin, and they ain't afraid to drive 4 or 5 hours to come see a show. Yeah,
well, I tell you what, I've been all over, man, and I can give you an amen to that. That's absolutely gospel truth right there. I was looking here in Casper. We keep tabs on you, Chancey, and I noticed on your tour page you got shows in Gillette coming up for New Year's Eve, and then you got one in Cheyenne, like springtime. You got any plans on moseying through our neck of the woods anytime soon?
Well, I think I think we're playing in Casper February 23rd. It's we always try to play in Casper in February. We're doing a concert out at the Beacon. And it's also the same weekend as state wrestling, which I hate missing. So we always
Right.
try to book that last week of February in Casper. So we'll be there then. And yeah, we got a lot of winter dates coming up. I think next week we go to Lincoln and Sioux Falls, and then we're playing in Deadwood with Casey Donahue. And yeah, I got a lot of good winter stuff coming up.
Yeah, well, many of our appearances at the Beacon have resulted in wrestling, so maybe we'll make you feel at home.
Yeah, maybe it'll be both, state wrestling and a concert at the same time.
Right on. Well, okay, 2019 almost here. What is like the big goal for Chancey Williams? And I got to also compliment you as a man named Doc Holliday. I appreciate a man whose band is named the Younger Brothers Band.
That's right. Yeah.
So
I appreciate that.
What's 2019 hold for you and the guys and gals?
Man, we got a lot of great dates coming up. You know, this 2018 was really good for us. We really seen a move from, like, you know, we used to play a lot of sets, you know, at bars and stuff, to just only doing concerts and mostly our own stuff. And you know, we're broadening our map. You know, we've been to Tulsa and Missouri and Kansas and Nashville and even out to California. So our map's getting a lot bigger, and we're hoping to have a new album out this summer. We got 6 songs done this winter. We're working on the other 6 to hopefully get a new album out. So things are growing, and they're starting to grow real fast right now, which is good.
Well, I would highly recommend, if everybody hasn't already done it already, we've got the link to The World Needs More Cowboys, the iTunes link, and if you got one of those Android phones, that too. But hit the link in our on our website and through our app to grab that new song, because that is just amazing if you haven't already heard it.
Well, thank you so much.
Yeah, well, my friend, thank you so much for your time. I know you're a busy dude, but when you come through Casper, you definitely have to stop by here and pay us a visit.
I would definitely come in. We sure appreciate you guys' support for us. Thanks so much, and thanks to our Wyoming fans. We can't thank them enough.